Hello everyone and welcome back to the Combined Syndicates of America, or as it currently is, Reading with Johannes. Okay, we're about to establish a judiciary. A question has arrived within the convention about the nature of the judiciary. Some within the convention think that we should enshrine judicial independence as well as judicial review into the Constitution. However, others point out that the courts have long been used as a tool against the people and the workers, and thus, to prevent this from happening again, we should place it under government control, which will be decided. Review and independence. We are not Mac totalists. I've never actually read this flavor text. Soon and vain, the working man whose color of skin is in the stepping stone to his imaginary superiority. Proletariat of all colors and creed fought and bled through to build our new America. The loyal immigrant shall also be afforded natural-born citizenship in the spirit of emancipation. Okay. Socialist Constitution. Economics. Article 15. The foundation of the economic system of America is socialist. Ownership of the means of production in the form of public property, belonging to all people, and collective farm and cooperative property. Article 16. All minerals and wealth underground, the waters, including mineral and medicinal waters, the source of natural power, the means of rail and air transport, the ports, posts, telegraphs, telephones, and broadcasting are public property. Article 17. The land belongs to those who cultivate it, the property of collective farms and other cooperative organizations, and their joint undertaking compromises the means of production and other assets which they require for the purpose laid down in their rules. Their land held by collective farms is secured to them by their free use and propriety. Article 18. Private property and private initiative in economic are guaranteed. The inheritance of private property is guaranteed. The right of inheritance is regulated by law. No person is permitted to use the right of private property to the detriment of the personal community. The existence of private monopolist organizations such as cartels, syndicates, trusts, and similar organizations created for the purpose of directing prices, monopolizing the market, and damaging interests of the public economy is forbidden. Private property may be limited or expropriated if the common interest requires it, but only in accordance with the law. It will be determined by law in which cases and to which extent the owner shall be compensated. Under the same conditions, individual branches of national economy or single enterprises may be nationalized by law if common interest requires it. Approved. That sounds like a pretty sound economic system. Why can't we establish that in the real world? Because the CIA would overthrow us. True. Socialist Constitution. Congress and the President. The convention is debating about whether the real strength of the government should lay in the Congress or the President. While both would be directly elected by the people, one branch would be the driving branch where the policy is decided on. Which should it be? The Constitution favors Congress. We are not a dictatorship. This one. This is an important one. Centralization or decentralization. The convention is debating the strength of the central government, something that the government should be strong to protect the rights of workers and to make sure the nation is nothing like the Great Depression happens again, while others are arguing that what we should strengthening are local governments and not having most of the power in the hands of the central government. Many delegates from the industrial unions have pushed for decentralization, insisting only decentralization saves us from dictatorship. Surprisingly, a strong minority in the craft unions have come out in favor of centralization in order to protect dignity and skilled labor. That's an easy with decentralizing government. What do you think I am? time to decide the capital. One of the last things to be decided is the capital of America. While many advocating for Washington D.C. as the capital, as it was the old, and it is, then it easily fits that purpose. Others are advocating Chicago, Philadelphia, New York City. Which shall be the convention? D.C., Chicago, Philadelphia, New York. Would say New York since it's the biggest city, but Chicago is also a major industrial hub. Philadelphia is where it's done, but that's too close to our enemies. So New York City is even closer. Washington it is. Then again, I'm also building my fort line here to defend Washington. The fall of Bangkok. Oh yeah, that's right, the Deutsche Arch. Constitutional Convention has concluded. The Constitutional Convention has finally come to an end. The new Constitution of America has been written. However, despite this, now come the real work of rebuilding the country. Long live the workers of America. I've soon rebuilt the South Atlantic. Strong federalist resistance. It's soon gonna be lowered down to destroy the interim president. At the final day of the Congress, John Stillers Reed, better known as Jack Reed, announced that he would step down as leader of the country, announcing that his health had been deteriorating due to stress of guiding the revolution and that he wishes to spend his final days with his wife, Louise Reed, and his daughter. Moreover, he emphasizes that his role was to see the country through the revolution, but a new leader needs to lead it now. So while the country prepares for an election, whom shall be the interim president? Elizabeth Guile Flynn, CSA Central Committee, dies. Elizabeth Flynn becomes leader of the Syndicalist Party. Industrial Workers of the World become the ruling party. Norm Thomas, Radical Socialist Party. Federalist Faction. Trade Unity League. Wait, they all have names now. Trade Unity League, Industrial Workers of the World, Federalist Factions. William C. Foster, he's the totalist. So, those two are both totalists. It shall be Elizabeth Guy Fawkes. Elizabeth Gladly Flynn. At a dusty underground socialist club in Halem, Elizabeth Flynn's life as an advocate began. An early organizer of the IWW in New Jersey, Flynn felt the blunt of political wrath against forming trade union and was arrested 10 times. Flynn helped found the ACLU, which I don't know, which organized legal defense for strikers in the days before international labor defense. In the lead-up to the Civil War, Flynn helped organize the Long Horseman strike of the West Coast. Flynn's wartime speeches to the Central Committee to encourage conscription made her stand out to the numerous conscription objections in the committee. Ultimately, Flynn was elected to lead America as a shocking dark horse candidate. Some thought it asserted that a woman would stand at the forefront of the revolution, but the rebel girl herself has been at the spearhead all along, fighting since the foundation of the IWW and now ready to build up a socialist America of her dreams. Good. Good. Oh my god, she's not going to be in power very long, is she? They have to hold there. Okay, where am I currently building? In Michigan. Oh yeah, I haven't completed the fallback line. Yeah, my first orders were to build and protect these areas. You need one. Oh, it needs to be completed first. A bit shouldn't she then also be? Okay, she has factory output and political power gain. She's actually pretty good. I must admit that. It's kind of weird how some provinces that have straits in EU4 don't have them in HOI4. Like, in EU4, this island has a strait to it, but here it don't. Same with Newfoundland. And is there any other place that has a strait here but doesn't? Oh, it doesn't have a strait. but have an EU. This place. There are lots of these small places where there are straits in EU4, but not in. Oh yeah, that's right. You have an extra on this one. Emancipation for all. By God, time is moving slow. Can I join the Third International? No, but I would be able to lend-lease them, like I'm lend-leasing the Russians. They seem to have begun moving onto the foreground, actually fighting and winning. They are being sent, right? Here we have, they all arrived the 15th of August. Since the 15th of August, been 3,000 grants, 20 cruisers, 200 pieces of artillery and 100 convoys. Next one will be delivered in 8 days. But you can fight back against these, you can fight back against the Commonwealth and the Kingdom of Ukraine are already pushing back. Of course, it also helps that Germany have lost this and have to deal with them. Restored Brunstadt. The Ludendorff regime roughshod over many of the privileges that the German state had prior to the Weltkrieg, one of them being representation in the form of the Bundesstaat. Restoring this ancient right is a great sign of things to come. Then Mitteleuropa. We are the leader of Mitteleuropa, an economic cooperation pact that helps us protect power. Love how Sweden is the only one that's not social democratic out of all of the northern parties. Norsk Aluminiums Company. Revise the army plan. The Panzerskib question. Upgrade the army service. Upgrade the navy service. Establish Luftforsvar. Democratic mandate. The People's Constitution. I now have completed this, so I can begin this. No national focus yet. War and agriculture, that's the totalists. Everybody know you have to go cooperatives after all the anarchists. But I guess it gives quite a good power. Like this one is pretty good mass production. Now you're moving into man. Who gets elected? The industrial workers of the world or the federalist factions? Well, that's easy. Becomes the ruling party. Whoops, and now we have 80% of the vote, which will up our political power and put even more. General Secretary election. Astonio Cantabi. Okay, let's look here. Plus 14 political power. Plus 14 political power. Her currently. No, 0.7, but lowers construction. She's gonna keep it. Emancipation for all has been complete. Jim Crow. With social revolution. Let's redistribute the wealth. Now it's nearly full recovery. And now, the scars of the one war, visible just months ago, have largely faded from the country. Factories have reopened and trains, buses and other forms of public transportation have started running with some regularity. America has nearly returned to its post-war standard of living. I almost I'm closer to 50 now, and I'm getting 0.85 daily political power now. How much do I get for this? Doesn't tell me. Yeah, flex from our current popularity. 0.85. Then I guess stability. Yeah, Elizabeth Jensen and Russian Ash Baldwin are equaling out Steve Nelson and Roger Baldwin, and Steve Nelson and stability is equaling out Roger Nelson Darwin and Flynn herself. We're no longer getting back from Federalist attack. But they still have strong resistance. Though I am currently clamping down on it. I should probably also begin destroying Jim Crow. Reconstruction is over. equality for all, revolutionary education, and then a new America. Commonwealth of Labor. The combined syndicates of America will be known as the Commonwealth of America. Revolutionary architecture. As we move into rebuilding aspects of the revolution, the questions of how we should rebuild have been brought up. For most of the 1920s and 30s, the Art Deco art style was dominant amongst the architecture from coast to coast buildings were built in this style. However, a number of revolutionary architects wished to break away from that style and seek a more modern style inspired by design coming out of France, Italy, or Britain, while other counters that the Art Deco is an American style that can be updated by revolutionizing it or streamlining it. Which will we support? Modernism. After all, we have to be prepared for the modern cities. God, I would love to have 100% party support. Can somebody please trap the Federalist faction? The Michigan Fort building is coming along. Of course you should join this one. Army. As soon as you've been deployed. They mostly spread around here. And only have one up there. Yeah, I'm gonna send another one up there. You have 4 now. You have 3. Good. Then. Good. These 2 can join up here. These 2 have practically 0 supply. What do they like? Manpower. One of my divisions is 30k troops. Thompson. My carbine seems to be coming along fine. Building 190 of them a day, so yeah, I would expect. Building half tracks and medium tanks. I can reintegrate the Rockies now. Am I gaining any? I'm gaining manpower. Hooray! Now I have total effective 60%, which is nice. As soon as this one is completed, it will go up to 70%. Oof. Wonder how many of my divisions are. I can't even see how many of my divisions are on display. Here I can. I still like 200,000 manpower. Let's see the equipment here. Most of them seem to be using Thompsons. Oh, M1 Garands. Yeah, most of them are still using M1 Garands. Then Thompsons and then carbines. All of them have modern artillery. All of the trucks have trucks. Still lacking small amount of support equipment. How much? 500 pieces of support equipment. Federalist bombed again. God damn it. Ugh. At least in 4 days they're gonna become weak. Oh, weakened Federalist resistance. And I've just reintegrated another part of America, which gives me 200,000 manpower. Jesus Christ. 2.9% of total eligible manpower, which is 107 million. And now I've weakened them even more. Now we have succeeded in destroying some main safe houses and arresting some key ringleaders, but a few notable terrorists remain at large. Analysts expect more bombings and attacks, but nothing to mitigate, nothing on the magnitude of the first few months. Well, I wouldn't call it an occupation, since we are the legitimate rulers of North America. But, you know, you can't make all understand. I can have 72 elite divisions. Huh. or elite battalions. With 60 division and 1422 divisions. These are actually really bad. I just realized that my motorized infantry divisions are really bad. There we go. Recon, support artillery, field hospitals, engineer companies. I'll need to get additional 70 support equipment. And I have enough of everything else. There we go. Destroy terrorist fighting for the Holcomb, which will give me back some more divisions organized. There we go. Now another 100 days before they are removed. Modern equipment, total mobilization, plan wert, unknown focus, just redistributed the wealth, modify social revolution. Let's begin preparing to destroy Jim Crow. Social revolution still gives -20 to everything. But hey, I nearly have 50% stability again. Time to destroy Jim Crow. Now I only need 300 pieces. How long more will I be in negative? 23 days. It's not that bad. Jesus Christ. I have a lot of my grants stored. Should I begin to develop out my air force? I think I will. And Brazil just fell, and by God, that's disgusting. Why did you take this, Peru? Oh well, it's time to build up my prepare up my air forces. Fly up there, you can join them. You get removed. You're up here. Let's find my fighters. Now let's start by establishing 100 fighters in there. And 100 close air support. And there we go. Lower. There we go. There we go. You dudes should be up to 1,000 and 1,000. There we go. Now I've established my full air force. Of course, they just need to get reinforced by all of the planes I'm lacking. Of course, it doesn't help that I'm sending 20 planes over here. Seriously, you have encircled Kiev. No, not Kiev. You're fighting for Kiev. You've made an encirclement here. That's at least something. How many troops do you have left? 30 to 51. And a global Ukraine. What does that mean? Church and nation. Recognize Russia. Eastern free trade. The wealth belongs to the people. One of the bigger things of the social revolution and the revolution as a whole is redistribution of the wealth from the rich capitalist parasites at the top to the toiling masses at the bottom. To the end, wealth of the country's elites have been seized by those that did not flee away. The richest men and women are now basically penniless. With the wealth seized, it has been given to the poor and desperate villages. Various programs have been deployed and care for the people that no one can go sick or hungry again in America. The wealth belongs to the people. But this one, a global Ukraine. Oh, it starts to this one. Northern Wind. Blue Danube. The Galicia question. Ruthenian claims. Communal cooperation. Solidarity forever. Red liberation. I wonder if you go down this route, would that then that allow næste machen nu tilbage? Back. Expropriate Kulak holdings. Fate of the monarchy. Execute all of them. Collectivization. Purge the leftists. A red helmet. Friendship of nations. This thing. Advanced armored cruiser. Late internet war. Advanced dreadnought. Let's go with advanced dreadnought. You can build one more of those. Then you can build advanced armored cruisers. No, actually you will not build. You'll build late interwar destroyers for the Red Navy. Dismiss. This is disgusting. What are you preparing to do now? Refuge to Italian scientists. Do I not have some more war to do? Catholic brothers around the world encourage Spanish immigration. Protect the heart of Christianity. Refuge to Italian scientists. Punish Paraguay. Uruguay is ours. Local non-coal. Free return. Ideological persecution. Modernize agriculture. Integrate Uruguay. Connect the railroad. Uruguay arms. Expand small business. Mitigate local resource industrialists. You can attack these dudes. Break up the socialist revolt. Expand mining facilities. Connect the roads. Mission Orientana. Coordinate the war effort. Show supply and ultimate confrontation. Okay, you can impose heavy reparations. Purge in the name of the Lord. Economic dominance in South America. American plan. Strengthen ties with Peru. You already have them. Fallout. That's 50 to the immigration factor. Do you have an immigration factor? I have to find that one now. Can't find it. Mexico. Create faction. Oh, I can't create factions. They wouldn't join either, probably because they're totalists. Non-aligned. In huge. Very, very, very big asterisks. Or a very big X. That thing you do when it's something with the exception of further information. I could begin to train some Marines or some tank divisions. I shall train 12 tank divisions. Like, not even deploy them, not even close. How many troops are my tank divisions? 1444. Like, I should not deploy that many of them, but I should train them. And they should not be known, they should be known as armored divisions. And their symbol shall be the longest bombings again. Symbol shall be the hammer. The Ukrainian situation appears dire. Do we have a hammer? They can also be the spear point, of course. But do we have a hammer? Why can I not find a hammer? God damn it, I cannot find a hammer. There should be sharks. No. Emus. That would be if I were the Australians, then it should be the emus. Deadly tanks, fast tanks, no. Then it shall be the bears. These dudes are bears. These dudes. These dudes are the They are the sickle. My motorized divisions, they are. Their job should be to be fast, but not that one. They should be the chopping. Yes, the chopping block, because they are the ones that drive around and complete the encirclements. Marines. Marine shall be. They should be the commando dagger, because they plunge our enemies in the back. Sickles. Now, if I had a sickle and hammer sign, they would be dead because they are the backbone of the army. And the Kingdom of Ukraine has capitulated, which means you've made huge encirclements here, here. And you are actually progressing. So I know my Lend-Lease are not wasted. I shall now modify my Lend-Lease with you to no longer send you planes. There we go. I've soon completed the last Michigan fort. I'm prepared to destroy Jim Crow. Now I have to look at this one. Weakened currently. What will it be once this one's done? It will be fading. Rebuild the Rockies. It will make a lot of more calls. Basically only make it so that Los Angeles, Southern California, San Francisco, Northern California, Oregon, and America, and Washington aren't states. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one will be close, but everything else will. Now, how much? You actually don't need more manpower, you just need more divisions. Or more tanks, and mechanized, and also support equipment. But hey, since my focus currently isn't fighting, I can lower you and up you. So you can gain all of the support equipment. They are the bears, because they are the brute force I send out to deal with a certain someone who would probably get in my way. Riots in Quebec. I always loved that. I always loved when my enemy get that one. Because I remember when I played Edison, it was fucking crippling to any kind of war effort. Now Maryland is beginning. The Maryland line. As I like to call it, the fallback line. And all of you should be prepared to go into this very... It's not there. My... Not garrison. The fallback line is... Don't remember. There. Goes here, then goes into... Okay, I'm one short. Then up here, down here. Okay. First of all the way up. Then there, down, down. There, down, down. Then up, and into Cleveland. There we go, that's the fallback line. And we are behind the major Hudson, part of the Hudson River, and god damn it, you still not. There we go. Pierre followed this river into heavy territory. Holding the airbase. Destroy Jim Crow. Reconstruction is over. Why would I ever remove the national spirit reconstruction? Oh, if I want to build military factories, that's true. Destroy the longest terrorists.
Boy, it's gonna take forever to get done with these terrorists. Then again, dealing with terrorists is never easy. So I might up you next time to just partial mobilization so I can get even more civies. 10 is used to trade, and I'm currently using 40 on consumer goods. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna repair those 2 factories. Actually, I don't know why I'm not running this one through Pittsburgh. Fuck it, I'm gonna quickly relocate you so you run that, and it's this hill of the plains. Okay, here. From here. There we go. Instead, you should build 3 forts here and here. Let's just quickly smack you to the top so that I can move you down here, down here. There we go. Now I'm constructing the full, what shall I call it? The Washington line. Yeah, it's the Washington line, this one. Because it's designed to hold them off Washington. Fighting in as much favorable terrain as possible. Things like urban, hilly terrain. Oh, this is plains actually. Hilly terrain. Hilly terrain. The eco-socialist movement. Get them. Forests. Mountains. Hills. Plains and behind rivers. America and Americans have always had a love for the outdoor and wilderness. From its earliest days, though, capitalism corrupted that love. Since the revolution has now been achieved, a movement has cropped up to combine the conservatism with socialist ideals. A number of new national parks have been created throughout the country, as well as People's Conversation Club, or a People's Conversation Committee, to help provide young men a job after the revolution and helping to build conversation projects and work in rural communities. Many of the socialists are also wanting to make sure that wasteful land use that was common during the Kaiserreich Republic as well prevent another Dust Bowl. Revolutionary conventionism. Thingy-ma-dingy, you know what I mean. Hibbity hobbity, there is only public property. Seems like France is actually progressing into Austria for once. The Germans seems to be being pushed back. Actually, they're also being pushed out of Russia slowly but surely. The Kingdom of Finland is what? Are they still independent? Yeah. Is that a non-aggression pact? Yeah. You seem to have lost some territory. The whole of Ukraine has now become occupied. They are finally pushing into White Russia, or Belarus. Seems like I can cancel. Okay. Calm down, people. First things first. You have a tiny kid on your front, Peril II, second Romanov. At only 12 the moment of his father's death, young Peril II has likely to become a puppet in the hands of the Regency Council. Still, it is obvious that he inherited at least some of his father's charm, which, if combined with sufficient political capacity, may sometimes give him a chance to independent rule. Modify the Lend-Lease. You no longer need it. Okay. Land redistribution. The richest men and women in America owned mansions and land throughout the country, from mansions of Rockefeller, the Mongras, the Congress, and the Benefits, to the plantation owners in the South with The de facto slavery of sharecropping land in the old republic did not belong to the people. With the revolution victorious, that however is changing. The land in the south is being redistributed to the farmers to destroy once and for all slave power. The land is being given to the people. All their ill-gotten mansions and estate belong to the people. In many other places, it has been given over to the local communes and established a public place for the establishment of public housing for people. 40 acres and a mule. Avant-garde art. Even within the art world, there is a social revolution touching it. Avant-garde art styles are becoming more and more popular and supported by the government. The government, in particular, is using energy of the artists to create propaganda to extol the virtues of the revolution. As part of this movement came the alleged trains that travels rails throughout America. They are brightly painted and carry on board a printing press, governments, government offices, painted political leaflets and pamphlets, library books, and a mobile movie theater. They are parts of the new revolutionary government to indicate that the values and programs to scattered to the populous America, particularly rural regions of the country. Modern art for modern America. Now comes the question. Do I rebuild the Pacific coast? Or do I wait and go into partial mobilization? I know what I'm gonna do. We'll just sit here and roll our fingers. Encryption side channeling attack. It's 41. Production lines, here I come. Come on. It has just changed. Is that enough that it also changes tomorrow? Yeah. Does it also change tomorrow? Federalist attack should be rare now. We'll raise again tomorrow. Where I can then move up to partial mobilization. There we go. I am now partially mobilized and thus have many more factories. How many more do we need? 200 more, 3,000 more tanks, 1,700 more mechanized. Producing 4 mechanized a day and 2 tanks a day. Should have more tank production. More mechanized production. Pretty sure I can even spare the guns. There we go. Let's not focus as much as artillery anyway. Actually not as much on artillery at all. You can even get an extra one, you can get limited one. I just need more rubber. There we go. Now I can also focus on building these quicker. And the M4 Sherman has been complete. The M18 Hellcat, gun motor carriage, and just do they all have very nice tweaks on the M36 jacks, gun motor, medium anti-air, the Pershing has heavy tank destroyer, the Asians howitzer mortar carriage. These don't have specific names. The Patton. No, they don't have specific names either. The M10 Wolverine, M7 Priest. That's literally just a truck with an anti-air cannon on it. Oh well. More for production. Let's make it special. Much more reliable, first of all. Up the armor, up the main gun. It's supposed to be a breakthrough weapon, not a speeding weapon. Boom. There we go. Now I just need to recover, the production efficiency. 6 a day, that will up much quicker. Let's look at it. Yeah. 200 days. 1,000 days, but that should go down relatively quick due to me recovering efficiency. 10 days, that's good. Let's see how much does it go down with. 1 day or more. 2 days. Yeah, I thought so. Well, I'm gonna end the episode here, guys. With us preparing for war, having elected new, starting the social revolution, finally dealing with the terrorists, having reintegrated most of the country, with the exception of the Pacific coast. Things are finally looking up for America. So, bye guys. I'll see you next time.